Hey there, good evening. It is Wednesday night, which means it's time for another episode of Write It Out Wednesday. I am Valerie McDowell, your writer, editor, and book coach accelerator. So I want to thank you for joining me here tonight. Wednesday is the day that we come on to put you back at the top of your writing list. We meet on the first and third Wednesdays. It's like we've been growing in the last few months, so it's like trying to maximize every day of the week. So we're meeting twice a month, which gives you time to work on your book projects in the absence of every week. So that's what we're doing. So 7 o'clock every other Wednesday, or the first and third Wednesdays, this is where we're meeting. And we're happy to be on here the week before Thanksgiving. And so I just want to thank you all for joining me. I want to thank you all who have been journeying with me this year. This is our second year of doing Write It Out Lives. And so I just want to celebrate all of the 14 authors who have walked with me, or rather I've walked with you through your book journeys, helping you go from idea to published. And tonight we have a great topic, so I hope you have your pen and pad, your notebook, your computer, whatever it is you want to write with, because we want to talk about something that often comes up in the course of writing your book projects, and that is what habits are keeping you from your writing goals. That we know we have a lot of habits, and being quarantined for as long as no one thought we would be, that a lot of habits have come up. We've read some funny things over these few months about, people in relationships with others, or seeing their significant others or kids or in the house all day with them, and not realizing the kind of habits that they have, like things that maybe their coworkers saw, but now you get to see on full display 24/7. So shout out to all the people who are learning about their family and friends' habits in the home. Hopefully that they're working them out for the better. In the meantime, let's just jump on in here and let's talk about what habits are keeping you from your goals. We have 10 habits that might be delaying you. So let's just jump on in here. And so the first habit we're going to talk about is a lack of clarity. That's always a big one, because it's always that one that people are like, I don't know what to write. Like, where do I start? What's going on? Why am I writing? What am I doing? So clarity is key. Okay, clarity is key. And knowing where are you going with this project? What is the purpose? Why are you even writing this book? So having clarity at the beginning of your process really helps you to move forward. And part of that clarity comes from just sitting down and thinking about what it is that you want to do. Plotting it out. Why am I here? Why do I even want to write a book? So having clarity surrounding that whole reason will help you move much forward much faster, when you know that reason. So number 2, and this is a big one, and I know I've had issues with this, but no schedule. That sometimes you don't schedule it, with regard to the gym. Like, my gym closed, and so it was 5 minutes from my house. I could literally leave my house at 9:25 and make a 9:30 Zumba class on Saturday mornings. And now the entire gym is gone. I'm so upset about that. But it was scheduled. I put it on my schedule to go. So even though at times, I might have overslept, I knew it was on my schedule to get to. Even this week, I have a 9 a.m. It's on my schedule. I have a 10 o'clock kind of 15-minute call I have with someone. It's on my schedule. So if you know that the only way you get things done is to put it on your schedule, then let's make a habit of scheduling not just your doctor's appointments, not just date nights or things like that, but put writing your book on your schedule. Because if it's not on there, it's a strong chance that you won't get any writing done this week. So if you are scheduling your time, shout out to you. I may even send you a free gift. Let me know if you're scheduling your writing time, and we'll get something out to you to encourage you to keep going. Okay, so that's number 2. So no clarity, number 1, no schedule, number 2. What's the number 3 reason? I'm calling it, and we're talking about 10 habits or 10 reasons why you might not be hitting your writing goals. So the third reason I want to call is the kitchen sink syndrome. Okay, kitchen sink syndrome. You've heard that expression, where, especially when it comes to maybe a woman's purse, it's like she's got everything in there but the kitchen sink. Okay, that means that How much stuff are you trying to put into your book? And that even takes you back to number one, the clarity. It's like when you know what's supposed to go into your book, then you're not trying to put every single experience in your entire life from birth to now into it. If it has no bearing on your story, you do not need everything to be in it. And so, like I said, I'm calling that the kitchen sink syndrome, because you're trying to put the whole story in the one book. And it could be a couple of things that, one, it might be for another book. Two, it might not be for any book. And three, let's just like create an outline to make sure, does it fit based on the structure of my story? And so that's the thing that we want to make sure of, that you're not just throwing anything and everything, where, you know, that sometimes when you have conversations with people when working on their book projects, they're like, oh my God, oh, that just triggered this. And then they want to put that, and then they want to put this, and then they want to put that. Oh, I found this picture. I found this document. Does it help? Or does it add value to the story? How about that? Does it add value? Because if it's not adding value, then it may not necessarily need to go in there, because we want to make sure that the book reaches its intended target and it reaches its goal. Like, what is the goal? Hey, Wanda, good to see you. What is the goal of your book? Because if you're throwing everything into it, that means that it may not be a book. It might just be a place for you to store, like storage. So your book is not storage, okay? Your book has to have a purpose, has to have a plan. So Wanda, we're talking about what habits are keeping you from hitting your writing goals. And our first was having a lack of clarity. Number two was having no schedule, like you have not scheduled your writing. And number three, the kitchen sink syndrome. We are not going to be throwing everything we can think of into our books, because therefore, or when that happens, you don't get the real story. It's like, and you know, because the majority of my clients do nonfiction books, it means that we're talking about their life story in some way. We're talking about an experience. We're talking about their expertise, something they've been able to do as a result of their education or their insight. So we're talking about very specific things. So everything does not fit into that book. So we have to be clear before we even get to writing it, what it is that we want to write. So in number four, this is a big one for many people, especially people who tend to be a little independent, or, you know, and not necessarily intentionally, but they're just used to doing things on their own. So number four is not asking for help. That a lot of times that there are people who can give you an answer to something you need very quickly, or they can take care of something that you might need done very quickly, but you're struggling and you're fighting and you're searching and you're researching, you're Googling all kinds of stuff, trying to get the answer, because you're not thinking about the people in your realm, in your circle, who actually could help you. So get some help. Help is good. It's good. You know, there are lots of people who want to be needed that are waiting around. I had a friend saying angels are like unemployed. They need you to call them out. Angel, do this for me. I need you to help me out. So if there's something that you need, there's some good angels out there who want to help you out, that want to do some things for you. And so you just have to make the call. And it's like, I've just had a thought about, like, my church is doing this Christmas store they do every year, and normally it's in person, and it's very lovely. You know, it's like a whole shopping experience for families in need, you know, but this year, you know, we're having to do things differently, but they put the call out. They put the call out for help. We have 250 families who need support, you know, and so when you put out the call, then you're able to get the help that you need. But if you don't say anything, then no one will know where you are. So number four is ask for help. That might be a reason you're not hitting your goals. You haven't asked for help, because sometimes you get stuck. You know, we all get stuck. We all get, you know, things happen. Life happens for real, you know, and so we might just need some help. And it's no shame in asking. In fact, you know, the thing is, you'll realize how much more you're able to get done, because everybody needs some help. You know, we all need help. No one is an island, as they say. We all need some help. All right. So that's number four. Number five, what are some of the habits that are keeping you from hitting your goal? Number five, hard. Something is hard. That's one of those things that we often say, oh my God, this is so hard. Whether you're trying to not eat a bunch of stuff anymore, exercise, or do something you haven't done before, or that you haven't just had a lot of experience with. And so you immediately say it's hard. But just make a note to tell yourself that hard does not equal impossible. Okay, hard does not equal impossible. Hard just means it's not familiar. It's the same thing with like lifting weights. If you've ever been in a gym and you work with a trainer or just on your own, that the first time you lift weights, if you've never done it, 3 pounds may seem like a lot. And you're like, 3 pounds? Why can't I lift 3 pounds? But if you're not lifting 3 pounds in a very, intentional way, then yes, it can seem difficult. And so, but if you do it, and you continue to do that routinely, then that 3 pounds will become like nothing. Then you can be 5 pounds. Then you can add up to 10 pounds until, you could be lifting 20, 50 pounds each arm, just lifting, but you have to start somewhere. So, but it's also important about your language. So what you're saying out of your mouth. So make sure that your language lines up with your goals. Because if you're saying it's impossible, then you've already told yourself that you're not going to do something. And when you're saying it's hard does not mean impossible. Hard just means, all you have to say is, you know what, this seems a little difficult because I've never done this before, but let me just figure this out, or let me learn, let me ask for help. And pretty soon I'll be able to get this done, because everything, as my mentor says, is figure outable. Okay. You can figure out anything. Kudos to the people in these laboratories, Pfizer, Moderna, who are coming up with these vaccines. They're figuring it out. We didn't have COVID before ever. And so therefore we didn't have this coronavirus to deal with. And so, but they're figuring out, scientists and chemists and everyone around the world are in labs coming up with this. Yes, it was hard. It's hard dealing with having, the trauma of what we're dealing with every day with the virus around the world, but they're figuring it out. Hard does not mean impossible. Okay. Number 6. Okay. Number 6, write it down. This is one of my favorite things. I'm a writer. This is Write It Out Wednesday. I'm the Book Coach Accelerator, helping you to write your stories. So we have to write it down. If you don't write down what it is you're trying to do, the outline of your story, an introduction, the title even, what are you doing? We have to write it down. And the thing about it is, you will realize more of your goals when you write things down, because the physical act of writing something down, I believe, pull something out of you, that you take it out of your head. It moves down into your hands, whether you're writing it on paper or on a computer. But that physical motion is causing it to manifest onto, the earth so that you can get it done. So write it down, make it plain, let others hear about what it is that you're trying to do so they can support you and encourage you and help you, as we said in a prior point. Okay, so that's 6, write it down. I hope you're getting this, because this is good stuff. It's like, I'm taking notes too. It's like, all right. Number 7, and this is the name of a book, but I just thought it was just a amazing issue in our life. One of the reasons and habits we might not be reaching our goals. It's the book is called Do This, or well, actually the book's called Eat This, Don't Eat That. But I'm saying to you, do this, don't do that. Okay, that's a problem you're having with your writing it down. Well, how can you be having a problem with writing if you're not writing? That's the thing. The only way to write is to write. The only way to exercise is to exercise. The only way to do anything is to do it. We can't just say it. We can't just think about it. We can't dream about it. We can't talk about it. We have to actually physically get something done. So shout out to you for acknowledging one of those habits, and that you can do something about it. That, again, hard is not impossible. And writing, it's just like, can you write? Like you just wrote right here. That's a full sentence you wrote down. So you just have to add more. And next thing you got a paragraph, then you got a page. And a lot of times I'm going to be doing a webinar coming up later on this month where we talk about a way that you can get lots of things written without lifting a pen. Okay. You get a mental block. Oh, well then that's also one of those things we're going to be talking about But, there's some things that you have to do to help you get on the other side of that. Because the mental block, everything that you're putting in, and we're about to say that, that's my point number 8. So hold that thought for a second. Number 7 is about do this, don't do that. And one of the things I want to hit on that point is that oftentimes, we say we want to get something done, but we do the opposite. We say that we're going to write for 2 hours, but then we saw that, The Crown season 4 is back on, and I was like, oh, and then there was something else. And then there was Jingle Jangle, and it's all kinds of things that are out, and lots of holiday stuff is coming. But it's like, okay, since those shows are going to be on at least for a little bit, then your writing, has a deadline. Like, let's get it done. If you said 2 hours tonight because you're not going to be available tomorrow, then go ahead and put those 2 hours in tonight. Don't put that off, okay? Because it's just like, it's like if you're saying you want to lose weight, and so you have to stop eating sugar, but then, you order a big giant pound cake. It's like, wait, were you wait, what happened? And so we sabotage our own selves by our actions. We can't just say it. We actually have to do it. Okay. We have to show what we're doing so that we can tell others what we did. But if you don't have anything to tell, it's because you haven't shown. Okay. So you have to actually do the action. Okay. So getting back to what you were saying, mental blockage, I'm not saying this is what it is, but it could be. All right, Wanda. So number 8, excuses say you really don't want to do something. Like I know there's a t-shirt that says, sorry, I'm late. I didn't really want to come, and it was like something that like introverts were putting out. But it's a true statement for many different people that a lot of times you get roped into doing things you don't want to do. And your whole body chemistry, your whole mindset, your whole thinking process says, I don't want to be here, So think about that when it comes to your writing. Is it drudgery? Have you already convinced yourself in your mind, like, oh my God, I know I owe her some work. Oh my God, I got to turn in this. Like if you're already thinking that, then your body and your brain is going to respond that way. But if you're like, oh my God, I can't wait I have so many ideas. I am never out of ideas. It's like, I was just thinking, you have to talk to yourself. Like I literally have a book. I'm trying to see if it's near me, but it's called, What Do You Say When You Talk to Yourself? You have to tell yourself what it is that you want to do, because your body and your brain will respond to what you tell it. It's like they don't have their own power. You have the power to make yourself do what it is you want to do or not. Okay. So excuses say, do I really want this? Do I really want to write a book? Do I really want to get published? Or do I just want to talk about writing a book? Do I want to talk about, oh my God, I can't believe I started this 8 years ago and I haven't finished. It doesn't take that long to write a book. It doesn't even take a year. You can actually get a book done 30 days. It depends on you. 90 days, that's a good, goal for the first time you write a book, even 6 to 9 months, which a lot of my clients are in the 6 to 9 month range just because of the type of book that they're doing. But 3 months, you can get a book done. You can get a book done in a weekend. It just depends on how committed you are to your goal. So, excuses say whether or not you really want to do something or not. I'm just throwing it out there. Okay. Number 9, go to bed. Were a little child, or if you was just having a tantrum or just going off about something, or just they were like, go to bed. And even as an adult, sometimes going to bed just helps. Sometimes you just need a nap. Okay. Because the thing is, we can let the day and the events of the day and even like news and just wear us down till we're just like, ugh, And so sometimes we just need to shift that. And like I was saying about the book, what do you say when you talk to yourself? You have to learn to think good thoughts, okay? You have to learn how to think good thoughts, okay? You have to learn to be happy and choose healthy, choices, even mentally. If you know that having conversations with a certain person or going a certain place or doing is going to bring you down, don't go. Don't do it. It's like, do what makes you happy. No one else has the power to make you happy. You get to make yourself happy. Okay. So in a relationship, when it comes to different things in life, your job, do not expect other people outside of you to make you happy, because you're the person who knows what makes you happy. You know how you feel when you're doing the thing you love to do. For people say who love video games, like, it doesn't matter what else is going on. If they're like, I'm playing Madden 5 is out, or whatever the latest game is, I don't know any of these names of these anymore, but whatever, your thing is. It's like when certain books come out, a movie, places, like I like to travel, just different things like that. It's like, okay, you may not want to go, but I'm going. Or there's a show I want to see, I'm going to the Kennedy Center, I'm going to the Atlas Theater, wherever it might be, going in the park, they're dancing in the park, I'm going. You know what makes you happy. And so don't put your happiness into someone else's hands and give them that power over you that makes you miserable if they don't want to do what you want to do. It's like, it's great when other people want to do what you want to do, but if they don't, it's okay. They're not you. Okay, let everyone enjoy what it is they enjoy. It's like, it's great to come together if you have people who have common interests, or even family. Like, again, this season, this time in life for all of us is a little different. So people aren't even encouraged to get together for the holidays this year. But, even when you do, it's always a little compromise. It's like, are you driving to this person's house or that person's house? Are you flying? Are you coming? Are you staying? All those kinds of things. But choose what makes you happy. All right. So make decisions to do things that encourage you and help you and strengthen you, like going to bed, getting rest, exercising, thinking good thoughts, all those things. You're like, what does that have to do with writing a book? Everything. Because if you're tired, if you're angry, how do you say hangry, all those things, you may not write a good product. And often what you're feeling when you write is what your audience, your reader, will feel when they read it. Did you know that? So your emotions, and often, and that's what movie making is about. They want you to feel the emotions of the actors, so whatever emotion you want your audience to feel, if it's a happy, encouraging, motivational book, then make sure you're happy, encouraging, and motivated when you write it. Because if you're negative and depressed, and that may not be the book, your audience may not resonate with it and they may not buy it, but if you're selling a certain product, if your goal is to reach a certain audience, to bring transformation, for instance, it might be that you talk about, something that was tragic and terrible, but the arc of that story needs to end on a good note, okay? So make sure that you're doing those things that bring about a good ending, okay, for your book. We're talking about book writing, so of course, we want some good endings. Doesn't always have to be a happy ending, but let it be a good ending. Let it end in a good way, okay? And then number 10, okay, number 10, we've gotten through 10 this quick. Okay, number 10, it's not about you. How about that? It's not about you. I've said this many times, if you are stepping out here to write a book, who's it for? You got to make sure that you've picked an audience. Like, who is this book for? That's sitting down. That's one of the things we go through when we work on books in my programs. It's like, who is this book for? Okay, because if it's for you and you want to put all this stuff and you're like, no, I want this in here. No, I don't know. Why are you taking that? It's like, okay, well, let's just kind of step back a minute and let's see who is the book for? Because if your coach or a beta reader or someone is like, why is this in here? Like, what's the point you're making? If someone else reading your story doesn't get it, then it might be that you need some tweaking. It's not that the book is wrong. It just you just need to know that the person reading it needs to get something out of it. Because otherwise, it's a journal, it's a diary, it's just for you. But if you want your book to be for other people, if you want someone else to want to purchase your book, then you have to make sure that you're writing to your audience, okay? You're writing to your audience. So we've covered 10 points here tonight, and I just want to quickly go over them again so that in case these are any of the habits that you are sharing, we need you, or actually not sharing, but these are the habits that you're have going on in your life. We need you to make some different choices, okay? So number 1, 10 habits keeping you, or 10 reasons why you're not reaching your writing goals. Number 1, no clarity. Number 2, no schedule. Number 3, kitchen sink syndrome. You're throwing everything in that book that's not needed, okay? Number 4, not asking for help. Number 5, you're equating hard with impossible. And I'm here to tell you that hard does not equal impossible. Okay. Sorry, that was number 5. Number 6, write it down. We are writers. Our goal is to write a book. So write it down. And even if there's some other things that you will be doing to help you get that book published, there are some things that you do initially have to write down. Okay. Number 7, do this, don't do that. Okay. That goes back to putting things on your schedule. Write your book. Don't just binge watch talking about writing your book. Okay. Put some time in so you can actually get it done so that you're not scrambling when you got deadlines. Okay. Number 8, excuses might mean that you really may not want to do this. Okay. If you have a lot of excuses on why you can't seem to get something done, it could be because you don't want to do it. So just think about that. Okay, I'm going to back up slowly on that one. Number 9, get some rest, get some exercise, think good thoughts, make yourself happy, do some things that encourage you. That writing a book can have its moments, hard but not impossible. But the thing is, you need to make sure that you are mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally well. So whether it's getting rest, whether it's some self-care, whether it's getting eating some right foods, getting some exercise in, having fun, running outside, skipping, jumping rope, whatever you got to do, whatever you can do even safely now in this season, do the thing that makes you happy. And don't put your happiness in the hands of someone else, because it really is up to you. No one else knows what's going on in your mind and your heart, and people are not mind readers. Okay. So be clear, talk to them, tell them what you need, if they can help. And number 10, it's not about you. If you're writing a book and you want your book to go out in the public, then your book has to be geared towards someone else. Okay. So, and that's for everything that we have. If you've been blessed with gifts and talents, they're not just for you. They are to bless and support and encourage and bring about transformation and hope and all kinds of things in the lives of others. I shared about this vaccine. There's lots of people working very hard, days and nights and 24/7, trying to bring about a vaccine to help the world. I was saying the world is sick. It's literally sick. And so, these chemists and biologists and medical professionals and all of these people are working hard around the clock trying to bring healing. So the same thing it is about your book. Who is your book for? This vaccine is for the world. Who is your book for? All right. So that's all I have for tonight. I want to thank you for joining me. I'm Valerie McDowell. I'm a writer, editor, and book coach accelerator. I help accelerate the process of you getting your book done. And if you want to get your book done and get started, even this year, we can at least get started, then we can work together on that. That I'm actually taking clients for the first quarter of 2021. I'm working out that schedule now. So if you want to be on that schedule, I'll put a link down below, and then you can join me in 2021. We want to make sure that you go from idea to publish. So thank you, and always be productive, be powerful, but be you. All right, take care.